Now, to discuss this, we are joined by Global President of the Ready to Lead Africa, Godbless Otubure. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, God bless. My first question to you is, to what extent is the advocacy for diaspora voting seen as a political strategy to gain advantage for remittance-heavy or politically active diaspora blocs?
I mean, well, when you look at it, it's definitely, it's beyond the political strategy. It is a fundamental, right that every citizen have in a democracy to contribute to what is happening in their countries. When people look at it just from the angle of a strategy by a remittance-heavy diaspora community, you are reducing it to just money. And that's not what our people are asking for. We want to be a part of what is happening. It's like the fact that I moved geography does not mean that I lose my rights as a citizen. And that is, that's what happens even in the United States and 37 other countries in Africa that has some form of diaspora voting. So I don't want us to couch it as a strategy because people are, this whole idea that if my money is coming back into the economy, I should vote. I think it's very passive. It reduces the conversation to, so if you are not, what about people who are not bringing back money into the country? Don't they have a right to vote? So it's a matter of, I am a citizen and then I have a right to vote. It's not just, we shouldn't look at it from just the monetary perspective. And I think that is why it should not be seen as just a strategy.
Right. And now, from there, do you think, let's talk about INEC and the capabilities and, power. Do you think INEC currently have any existing frameworks or pilot programs, actually, that could serve as a foundation for diaspora voting?
Absolutely. Right now, I do not know, except if there has been anything new that the Commission hasn't shared yet. But in terms of INEC's operating manual and how elections are conducted in Nigeria at the moment, I don't think INEC has anything. I haven't seen, I stand to be corrected. If they do have one, I think it's important that they share it. But from what I know, INEC cannot override the Constitution because the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended still stipulates that for you to be able to vote, you have to be physically present in Nigeria. And that is what gives INEC the guidelines to draw whatever it's going to do on election. And even the 2022 Electoral Act, which was passed into law, doesn't give diaspora voting any consideration because even the electoral amendment, the constitutional amendment that was supposed to change the clause that says voting can happen outside of the shores of Nigeria didn't make it through. So I don't think INEC has anything.
Oh, wow. Now, how do you think that policymakers can balance diaspora voting with broader electoral reforms, priorities like electronic transmission of results or INEC independence?
Well, so electronic transmission of results from polling units is not the cry of a few people, it's the cry of the entire nation. Why? Because we've seen that over time there has been cheating, there has been rigging, and somehow we just cannot put ourselves to a place where we are able to conduct an election and get the results out and let the will of the people prevail. So people who are asking for that, it's an imperative. Right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't take away the independence of INEC. In fact, what it does that it strengthens the independence of INEC. Right. Because then what happens is that INEC will say, look, it is the number of votes that we got from the polling unit that we've transmitted. And you can see that. That is going to further improve INEC's independence. And in terms of, how, political parties see this, I think all of them should start supporting that. And because when we do that, we give more credibility to the electoral process, and then everybody will be better served at the end of the day.
Right. Now, God bless, before I let you go, I want us to talk from a realistic standpoint, practicality. In your view, is it realistic to expect diaspora voting to be implemented by the 2027 elections? Of course, given Nigeria's political climate and administrative capacities right now.
Well, I'll tell you, they say in politics, a day is like 1,000, one day can be the difference. We've seen this current administration when the administration wanted to change the national anthem back to the old one. It didn't take a couple of months. It was pretty fast. So what it means is that if there is a will, there is a way, right. And I think before 2027, I think that can happen if there is a will on the part of all stakeholders, whether those in power and those in the opposition. Looking at Nigeria's administrative structure right now and the capacity to accommodate that level of change, I cannot bet my money on it because, again, we need to go back to the Constitution. This is not about just electoral reforms. It's about a constitutional reforms. We need to amend the clause that says that you have to be present in Nigeria to vote. But let me say this. When you look at the infrastructure that we use to organize our elections at this moment, there exist a lot of loopholes and shortcomings. Right. And I want to warn, not just one, but when we say the diaspora community, let's not forget that the diaspora community is not just the people in the UK, in the US, or in Europe. Right. Remember, that's not voting, so we're also looking at the guys in Chad, in Mali, in Cote d'Ivoire. So, it's a lot of, and Nigerians are scattered abroad. We haven't even figured out the one we're doing in Nigeria at the moment, and now we're trying to leap to do our, because again, we can do both. We can organize elections in Nigeria and also organize elections abroad, because if South Africa is doing it, if Kenya is doing it, it means that we too can do it. If we can do it better. But I'm just saying, when you look at the infrastructure that is available at the moment, I don't know if we can pull that off in 2027, but if there is a will, there can be a way. We can amend the Constitution and go back and amend the Electoral Act and then get diasporas the capacity to vote, and then just let their voices be heard. Because again, like I said, it's not about remittances, it's not about the monies to bring back, it's about the fundamental idea that as a citizen of a country, you are entitled to vote. And no matter where you are, geography should not reduce your citizenship. 100%. That is the advocacy, and that is where we should leave it.
God bless. Thank you so much. I'll leave you with that. If there is a will, there is a way. Thank you so much for your insights on this matter.
Thank you for always having me.